Okay, let me start by answering the questions from Thursday. The area questions, that way you have those answers and that you can be ready for the study guide today. And then I'm also, because all the tests had to be in by last time, I'm also going to go back and answer Unit 2 and Unit 3 test answers. And so if you need to pause and go get those that you want to check, just to check and see. Obviously, it doesn't change your grade at all, but I know some are curious, want to see the answers to those, which ones they missed. And so I will do that on this video. There is no assignment today. Your study guide will be up on a photo attachment, but we're just doing attendance this week except for the last test. Okay, so just comment underneath that you watched this video, and that way you can be counted here for attendance. And then tomorrow I'll post the video of the answers to the study guide, and then the plan is to have your test up by Wednesday. So that'll give you a couple days to take that last test, okay? And so let's go through and do these first, and that way you can check for the area. This was area of a circle, and the first one, the radius was 5. So we have to square that, which 5 squared is 25, but if you do it manually, 5 times 5 is 25, okay? So that's 5 squared, and then you multiply that times pi, so it's pi r squared. So we're going to multiply 25 times pi, and we get 78.54, rounded to the nearest hundredth. Okay, 78.54, that goes up to a 4. Okay, same thing with number 2. They give us the radius, so 3.7. And you can hit it times 3.7, or you could just square it. There's usually a square button on your calculator, so we're going to square it. And then we multiply that times pi. Make sure you're squaring just the radius before you multiply times pi. Now we multiply times pi, and we get 43.01. That's going to go up to 1. Okay? The next ones are diameters. So the first thing you have to do is make this a radius, which is going to be 8. Okay? So do that first. Don't square 16. That's the diameter. So we get 8. Now we're going to square 8, which is 64. 8 times 8 is 64. Okay? And then times pi. So we get 201.06. The 6 stays a 6 because that's a 1. And the last one, same thing. We need to make this a radius, which is 7.5. Okay, that's half of 15. If you need to know how to half it, just do 15 divided by 2. It's 7.5. Now we're going to square that, which is 7.5 times 7.5, and then we times pi. Now, or you could just hit 7.5 square. Okay, so that's 7.5 times 7.5, and then times pi. So 176.71. That stays a 1 because that's a 4. Okay, so those were, oh, sorry, that was this one. Okay, so this was this one. Those were your answers from Thursday. All right, so check those, make sure you're doing those in the right order, and let's do Unit 2 test, okay? Now, I could not find my hard copy, so I brought it up on my phone. So if you would have ever told me that I'd be shooting a video with my phone, of my iPad on my phone, using my iPod, I mean, we just got technology going everywhere here. But let's do these and check our answers. So supplementary angles add up to 180 degrees. That's 180. Are 1 and 2 adjacent? No, they're not connected. They're separate, so they're not adjacent. Are they a linear pair? No, they can't be a linear pair if they're not adjacent. So then 3 and 4 are connected. They share this side. They share a vertex. They are adjacent, yes. Are they a linear pair? Yes, they form a straight line. Are they vertical? No, they can't be a linear pair and vertical. Vertical, remember, looks like 1 and 3 here, or 2 and 4. Okay. What angle is vertical to 4? 2 is. If angle 1 is 95, then what is angle 3? Then it's 95, because they're vertical and they're the same. If the two angles are complementary, meaning they add up to 90, what is the missing angle? So we do 90 minus 40, we get 50. Okay. Then we have find the variables. So we got to find x. These add up to 180. They're a linear pair. So 180 minus 130 should be 50. Okay, number 7, I rewrote. Now, I did rewrite these because we want to do a little work on them. So to find y, it's vertical. So y is going to be 85. They're the same. And then these two form a linear pair, or even these two if you want to do them. So they add up to 180. Okay, so because see, if I cover up, they form a straight line on the test. I wrote it real quick, but it's a straight line. So we do 180 minus 85. Okay, and we get 95. So z was 95. Okay. This one, number 8, if we look, so going back to the phone here, they're complementary. So this angle, x plus 20 plus the 20, should equal 90. So I set it up that way. See, I said x plus 20, that's this angle, plus 20, that angle, equals 90. Okay. So now I can combine like terms. Okay, and then move your 40. And x equals 50. So x is 50. And see, if you plug it in, 50 plus 20 is 70. That angle's 70. That angle's 20. You get a 90-degree angle. On this one, how I set it up is if these are vertical, then they're equal to each other. That angle, 3x, is equal to 4x minus 110. So I did that. 3x equals 4x minus 110. Now we got variables on both sides. Let's just move this over here. So that's going to be negative 1x, or just negative x. This is going to be negative 110. And if we change the negative over here, or divide by negative 1, we're going to divide by negative, and that becomes a positive. If that becomes positive, that becomes positive. So x is 110. Okay, so that's Unit 2. Let's check those answers. Unit 3, I did find my hard copy here. So name these angles by their sides and angles. So this is an isosceles here. Two sides the same, and it's an obtuse. So it's an obtuse isosceles. This is a right isosceles. You got two of the same sides. This is an acute. They're all less than 90, and it's scalene. None of the sides are the same. This is an equilateral. If you called it an acute equilateral, that's okay. And this one is a right. It's got a right angle, and it's scalene. None of the sides are the same. Okay. This one here, you got to solve for x. These two angles equal 160. You're going to take that away from 180, and you get x is 20. Okay. This one here, you're going to add these together. You get 130. 90 and 40 is 130. Take that away from 180. It's going to be plus minus. Now, so this angle is 50, but that's not what x is. So if I plug in 50 for x, that's 100. This angle is not 100. Okay, what it is 2x equals 50. Oops. Which means you got to divide by 2. So x is 25. Okay. You could also set this up, if we're doing them like these others earlier, we could do 2x plus 40 plus 90. That's this angle plus that one equals 180. And you still would have got 2x plus 130 equals 180. Then move the 130. And you got 2x is 50, and then you would have still divided by 2 and got 25. Okay? Okay, so 60 is 120. You subtract that from 180, you get 60. So 3x equals 60. Okay, this angle is 60, but that's not what x is. 3x equals 60. Divide by 3, and x is 20. Okay. So if this is a 90, so is this. This is also a 90. So 120. 90 and 30 is 120. Take that away from 180, you get 60. But it's this whole angle is 60. So you got to say 2x equals 60. Divide by 2, and x is 30. Now this one you could have got 130, subtracted it from 180, get 50. Or you could just say this 5x equals 50. divide by 5, and x is 10. So even if you get that this whole, you add it, get 130, so take that away, you get 50, and that this whole angle is 50 and set it up, or if you just say 5x equals 50 from this way. Either way, you're going to end up with x is 10. Okay? This one is just yes or no. This comes out correct. 15 squared plus 20 squared ends up equal 25 squared. So this, yes. This one is no. 6 squared plus 6 squared is not 10 squared. Okay. 13 was, you do 12 squared plus 7 squared equals c squared. And you get 13.9. This one, you do 8.2 squared plus 12.7 squared equals c squared. You get 15.1. Okay, that's 15.1. And this one, we could do, this one's 18 squared plus b squared. Okay, this time the leg is missing, equals 30 squared. So 18 squared is 324. Plus b squared equals 900. 30 squared is 900. Move the 324 over. And you get that b squared equals, that's going to be 576. Square root of 576. So if you're doing square root, put in 576. It should be 24. 576, and then we do the square root, is 24. So this side was 24. Okay, so that was the answer to that one. Okay, so check your answers if you want. And then, like I said, the study guide will be posted today too on a photo attachment. So you can get started on that for the last test. All right, thanks guys.